and welcome to another segment on Detail TV, and this is Service Brief. The aim here is to highlight the activities and the services rendered by MDS, organizations, businesses, and all other private sectors. Okay, today we have the pleasure to host in our studios the GO of Destiny International Mission. He doubles as the Chancellor, Leadimpact University. He goes by the name Archbishop CLETUS. BASSEY. It's good to see you, sir.
Thank you so very much. What's your name again?
Oh, my name is BASSEY.
BASSEY, the one that has come from God.
Indeed.
I hope your parents did not really have so much problem waiting for a baby. So when you never had said, BASSEY, you know?
No, on the contrary, I think my daddy had like 2 girls in front. And when I came like the 3rd girl on a stretch, it was like, BASSEY.
But you know that even is better. Because now he said, you are a gift from God.
Yeah.
So if he was not prepared, now he will celebrate you as a gift. So it's good to see you.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you too. Okay, now going back to the matters at hand. You are the Chancellor Leadimpact University, and from my understanding, that university focuses on making leaders who will take over the next generation of Nigeria and the world at large. Can you let us in on that more?
Thank you so very much. First of all, I'm so excited to be in the Detail TV.
Wow.
It is a pleasure knowing that God is doing some strange things in strange places. And this TV is one of those strange things in strange places. That of all places in the Akwa Ibom state, you know, that you have this kind of a TV station. I'm so glad. Your studio is wonderful.
And
I can say that every one of you looking beautiful and smiling all over. And
you're making us to blush already.
No. When you see something that is beautiful, something that is nice, and something that is focused, you know, I love that. And and that is what Detail TV is coming with. And you know that. Yes, you asked me the question about the Leadimpact University. Leadimpact University is a university that has metamorphosed from what we used to know as Vision Christian College and Seminary, which had been in existence since 1990. We've trained over 5,000 people across nations, whether from the US or UK or South Africa, Congo, Kenya, Tanzania, Republic of Congo, we've Ghana. We've got quite a number of people that have come through our Bible college, and then many in Nigeria and in Akwa Ibom State, quite a number. And it is an interdenominational place that anybody from any church or denomination or ministry organization can feel free to belong. Because you see, when I was a younger person and I was going to go looking forward to be trained, I was bothered about...
you know, I actually wanted to ask you, what led to this idea? You know, how did this come about? You know, after, when you consider the kind of businesses people within around us do, we have a lot of schools here, polytechnics, and for some reasons, we have the record of owning that more in Akwa Ibom State. What was the drive? What gave you the inspiration? Why did you venture into creating or establishing the Leadimpact University?
That is a long story. I can tell you. But I can make it short because you don't have time. When I was a young man and I needed to go to the university or Bible college because my father was a director in the University of Calabar. So in my mind and in his mind, he thought that I was going to come over there. But somehow along the line, I got a call into the ministry, and I felt I needed to be trained. And to be specific about where I was going to be trained, I went to Aba with Bible College, a long place, a far distance. And I was really bothered because when I got there, sometimes I was too hungry. I didn't have money, school fees to go to school. And sometimes school had reopened and I'm home for almost 2 months because I didn't have money to go back. As a pastor, you know, a young boy. And my father was not in agreement with what I was doing at the time. But I needed to go. And then from there, I went to the university. I went outside of this country to the US. My mind in being there was that what about those who are like me, or worse than myself, who would need a training of this nature and can't afford to go to an interdenominational Bible college because schools around us were more of denominational schools. So what would I do? So I went there with the mind of beginning one. That was why when I came back from the US, I started in 1990 when I started the college, known as Vision Christian College and Seminary, that's September 1st today to Leadimpact University. Now, as you know, Leadimpact University is focusing on leadership as much as I can, because I can tell you, nations, organizations, and families, the rise at the instance of leadership and the fall at the instance of leadership. You go back into Africa, look at the nations of Africa. What has been our problem? The greatest problem we have as African continent is leadership, because some people think that monarchy should be what is practiced, and then we are bringing it into governance. As a result of that, one person
sometimes
who has come
into the church as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it. Because you see, when somebody comes in, he wants to live forever, stay there forever, dies on the throne. And so that's why they manipulate things, and they wouldn't allow freedom of speech or choice and all of that. So you see all kinds of manipulations that are taking place. So Leadimpact is to begin to create the consciousness of raising the next generation leaders with the mind of serving the people, and not themselves, not positional leadership.
You know, that's the main emphasis of leadership.
Yes.
Now, having that in mind, why the choice of citing the university at Colorado in the United States? Because I understand that's the headquarters.
Yes. Why I needed to do that is because, you see, in Nigeria, they make things look difficult.
Well,
life in Nigeria is double times in hell. I mean, you must have to have such amount of money.
Yeah.
You must have to have such kind of buildings.
Okay.
You must have so much money left in the bank. You must have to have all kinds of bottleneck situation that you must have to go through.
Which still boils down to the leadership problems.
That is still the issue. So even if you have the talent or you are gifted and you can run a school, you can't, because you don't have that kind of money. You don't have those kind of buildings. You don't have that kind of plot of land that they're looking for and all of that. But in America, you are allowed to try your hands on what you are good best, what you are at best. So for me, understanding that it is easy for me to use a building to start the university, it was easy for me to start it. And then because the major thing there is the content.
Yes.
The content, what do you have to offer? And when the Department of Education looks at what you have to offer, they give you the opportunity, give you probation, a period that you must prove that you can run this thing and you are doing well.
So in essence, it was simpler for you to start up the university up there than here in Akwa Ibom?
Yes, so in Nigeria we are running the off-campus program here in Nigeria.
Where is it located?
Here in New York. It's here in New York. If you come to Destiny International Missions, right now we are building a major college building that will compensate on what we are doing. And then my wife has a school known as Great Minds, nursery, primary, and secondary school. And so it's a big building. We are putting everything in one place, and it's going to really be a modern university, a modern school that people will be proud of sending their children. Yes. And so
now, still playing back to the Leadimpact University. How many courses are there, and what's this academic calendar like over there?
Actually, in the United States, you can start your school every quarter. I mean, it's just how you want to run it. You can start your school every quarter. Students come in and go out, you know, don't test what program you want to do. Right now we have 9 faculties in the place. And then the colleges that are there, like leadership, like theology, like human development, entrepreneurial. We also have communication arts. We do all kinds of things there, and so
that's interesting, because I was thinking it was all about leadership, pastoral, or I didn't know that someone who actually wants to have a career can come there as well.
Oh yes, you can. It's something that we have looked at. It is holistic, because you're talking about the community, the society. You can't force everybody into one mold. So people given by their God's talent, their God's given talent, they can say, okay, I want to go in this direction or the other direction. Then you have counselors who can help you to say, okay, this is how and what we see, what is your best approach to life, and what are those things that you do easy. You find yourself doing them easy and easily getting things done. And you see, one thing that we have not been able to do as a people is that we force our children to read courses that we think is good for them, but not who they are wired to be. When you are doing things that you are not wired to do, you struggle. That is why sometimes you see a clever child coming out with zeros, and you wonder, my child is foolish. No, he is doing the wrong thing. He is doing what he's not wired to do. And so he is struggling. It's like a child that's using the left hand to write. You force the child, you must use your right because left is a cursed thing. No, that's not true. So when you now force that child to learn to write with his right, his brain is not corresponding with his hands. And so you're having problem with that.
Is that serious?
Yes. So you don't force a child that is using the left hand to write and make him write with his right, because it will alter his configurations. And that's what my wife's school does. Okay. It helps children. Sometimes they've brought children from other schools. They say, this child cannot go to school, he's not doing well, maybe you want to take the child out or whatever. My wife said, give me some time. And by the time they put the child through some special training, now they discover that the child is one that writes with the left. They allow the child. You see them scoring A's. So sometimes parents make things difficult for their children, and so they force their children to do what they shouldn't have done.
Okay.
So these are things that we are looking at, how to get real natural leaders, not those that people force. For example, I've heard of people who said, I'm a retired headmaster, and then my people in my church said, look, we don't have any pastor or any priest in our own this in our church, so you come and be the priest or the pastor. So he now, after retirement, now goes into pastoral work. Is that his calling? Or just to have somebody?
It's a forced calling.
You are forcing the person. So some people had a call, some had a missed call, some had...
You can say that again. Okay, now I understand that there was a training, a leadership training that was just... they just completed one you organized.
Yes.
Now, how often should we have that? Because some people, maybe they have, you said you have an entrepreneurial faculty in the school. Now, a lot of people are lacking behind in terms of entrepreneurship. So how do you hope to bring up such events more, and how can people hear about it and be a part of it?
Definitely, we are looking at every 3 months. Yeah, that we will be coming out with. Already we've designed the next model. Actually, will be coming up in August, sometimes in August, I think so. So I think August or September. The faculty sat the other day after we had looked at how the last training was and the interest that people showed. I mean, people want free things, but we told the people it is credit worthy, and the kind of material we are bringing, it is of international standard, so we cannot come and give you anything free. So if you want to get this thing, you pay for it. And those who attended said, oh, and your guy was one of them. And he said, look, this is not something that only one person should be here. We should bring as many people that we can. And even the PDP were gracious and sent people for training. And there are people that came, testified of what happened. People from private sectors came along. People from churches came, pastors and their leaders or administrators in their churches to attend, like the Apostolic Church was there. So many like that came from different places, and everyone embraced this training, because we have to begin to look at things differently. And so we must have to change the narratives to effectively pastor the people if you're a pastor, or lead the people if you're a leader, or in any place you find yourself, because leadership begins from the home. So how do I become a better leader from my house? If we have good leadership in homes, then we have good leadership in the communities.
Okay. How can a young person who wishes to attend the school, is there a website that I can log in to get myself registered, or how do I access the school if I want to be, if I want to attend the school?
If you have your prerequisite,
what's the prerequisite?
And you must have to have 5 credits.
O level.
Or yes, O level. Or you have already gotten your first degree. or yeah, OND or HND. We have a certain program that we run, and then the people can do the next level of program before you can then get into either as a first degree program or a master's program. So you can go to our website, just log in at www.leadimpactuniversity.org. You just go, it takes you straight in, and then you can then, whatever questions you need to ask, you can ask, and then you get the information.
Thank you.
Let me just say one other thing. You know, what Leadimpact is doing is very impactful, just as the name is. That is how we went to Uganda. When we went to Uganda, people did not really understand what we came for. By the time they got in there, 12 nations were there. 12 nations attended. As a result of these 12 nations that came, we are now going to Tanzania and going to Kenya in November to get, and their governments are getting involved in training their people. And then there's a pastor that came in from one of the churches in Uganda. They said they have over 1.6 million people, but they don't even have a single Bible college. So we are going to start a Bible college for them, because what Leadimpact does is that we have models that we can go to a given place and start a Bible school. For those who are doing Bible college training, we train them from certificate to diploma to degree to master's and to doctorate. So we have flexibility, because you see, where was the first university that you could say it was the first university? You said the building? No, it was that they had the materials that they had developed, and they started the training. It's like today you have the lawyers who are known as the learned gentlemen. But where did the law school start? It's from the church. The church started. You go back again into England and then try to find out how. That's why when you see them wearing, you know, the thing that looks like pastor's thing, the reverend thing, because it is the reverends that actually began to teach the people on how to get the laws running, because they had the Bible. So they started to bring laws, moral laws, and all of that, social, and all of that. That today we see all kinds of laws, criminal laws, and all of that. So, so our university is very, very practical, and we want people to feel free. You can come to Destiny International Mission at the Warehousing Estate and make some more inquiries. And by September or thereabout, or October, before December, our buildings would have been very outstanding and running. And so, because we wanted to be in the city, even though we have a major plot of land that we are citing the campus of the university here in Nigeria at Iduran. That's going to be where it's going to be, yes. But for now, we have where in Uyo we are starting.
Okay, that's a good one. And we urge everyone to be part of the Leadimpact University. Now, if you have a calling, if you have a talent, if you have issues with leadership, if you are occupying any position whatsoever, you are a leader and you need to be a part of the Leadimpact University. Thank you very much for coming to Detail TV, and I'm glad that you came. Thank you very much.
The one that came from God. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
You're doing a great job. I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, we might need you again some other time.
Please call me. I may be busy, but just a phone call. I'm a phone call away. I am your servant. Just call me anytime and I'll be
here. Thank you. That has been the size of the segment. Join us again for more.